Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today I'm going to be working on replacing the fuel filter on my Evo 6. Right now the engine is out, so it makes it extremely easy to get to this filter. Now this filter can be replaced with the engine in, no problem. You'll just have to move a few things around. But for video, it makes it extremely easy to see the filter and to be able to relay to you guys what size wrenches to use, what's where, because it's not buried with a whole bunch of other things. So let's take a close look at the filter and go over some of the fasteners that are on it and how it comes apart and what you can do to not end up wrecking your fuel lines, because that'd be a disaster. All right, let's check it out. Okay, so I've climbed into the engine bay of my Evo 6 to be able to show you guys exactly what's here. Now this is the fuel filter. It is on, if you're looking into the engine bay, it would be on your right side below the charcoal canister, just right up here. So now the fuel filter is attached to the car by a clamp, which is right here. Now, a few parts of this clamp that are important is the fasteners. So over here, we have some 12 mil bolts, 1 and 2. Over here, we have a 10 mil bolt. Now, these bolts are going to be removed last. First thing you're going to do is take the lines off. Now for the lines, on the top here is 19 mil. Let's take a look at that. Right up here, 19 mil. Now that is the fuel line itself. On the bottom, right down here, is going to be 14 mil. And for that, you'd want to use a line wrench. If you don't have a line wrench, you can still get it off, but be very careful. You don't want to twist the line. Now, procedure would be remove the lines, top line, bottom line. Then, after that, you'd remove this bracket. 1, 2, 3. Now after removing the bracket, you take the fuel filter out and you have the bracket and the fuel filter together. Okay, so these are the tools that we need for today's job. We've got a 19 mil, we have a 14 mil line wrench, 12 millimeter socket, 10 millimeter socket. Now for the fuel filter, you do not want to damage the lines. So what you need to do is you need to be able to relieve those lines from any sort of twisting force that you're going to use. So now if you look at the filter, on the bottom, on the filter body, there is a hex sort of relief that looks like, well, the body of the filter looks like almost like a bolt head. Now that's where you put another 19 millimeter wrench if that top line is extra tight, which it could be if that filter's never been changed, which a lot of cars, that filter's never been changed. So what you want to do is you want to slip a 19 mil wrench onto the bottom, and then that supports the filter when you are trying to twist off that top bolt, which is the fuel line. So using my new filter here as a demo, the bottom here has a place for a wrench. So a 19 mil wrench can go there while you're using a 19 mil wrench for the top line. What that allows is for that top line to not twist and get itself damaged. Now just a quick note on the part number. So this filter is going to be a Wix 33553, or if you end up going to a Napa store, the Napa filters, especially the Napa Gold, are made by Wix, so all they do is just drop the first number. So it's a Napa Gold 3553, which is the fuel filter you need for an Evo 456. So just a few safety items to go over for working with fuel. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses. Make sure you have gloves because fuel can be corrosive. What you need to do is relieve the pressure in the fuel system. Now, the easiest way to do this, I've found, because the Evos don't have a Schrader valve, is just popping off the line that goes to the end of the fuel rail. So let's take a look at that. So this line goes to the end of the fuel rail. All you're doing is loosening these two bolts and popping it off. Now make sure you have a bunch of rags underneath that line to collect the fuel. As well, make sure that your car is completely cold. Certainly do not do this after driving the car around. The car has to be completely cold just from a safety perspective. And further to that, I'm not advising you to do any of this. This is just for information purposes only. This is how I do it. If you're uncomfortable with anything in this video, just take it to a mechanic shop to get it done. Okay, so this line's been loosened on the top here. This is the line for the fuel feed to the end of the fuel rail. Just like that. Now make sure you kind of grab those copper O-rings. There's a copper O-ring on the top and bottom of that. So now, after the lines are removed, the next step is to remove that bracket, which actually holds the filter itself in. So these have been loosened off already. 1, 2. Okay, you can see it's flopping around there now. And then the one small one on the left-hand side of the filter. Okay, so there's your fuel filter right there with the bracket. Okay, so now that we have the fuel filter out, we have to remove the bracket. And then what we're doing is we're putting the fuel filter back in the same orientation as this one. Just be mindful of this here because the line has to pass through the support area. So just make sure that the bracket is aligned with the new filter in the same orientation. Okay, so with the new bracket on, all you have to do is reverse the procedure and you have a new filter in your car. And so the purpose of a fuel filter is to keep sediment and debris out of your injectors. So if you have a car that's not running very well, you may want to clean your injectors and change the filter. Could be anything else, but with vehicles that are old and the filter's never been changed, this is something that could eventually affect drivability. Thanks for watching my video. I'll be making more, and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell on my channel to make sure that you get notified when I put up new videos. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.